Hello everyone, welcome to Elitesgrid. Today we will discuss another question of Parajumbles that came in CAT 2022 in first slot. So we have already discussed one of it. So let's start the other one. So these are the four sentences that are given to us, and we have to arrange them in a particular sequence so that we get a coherent paragraph. What is the meaning of coherent paragraph? That means where all these sentences are arranged in such a manner that the meaning is in a flow. जहां पर first खत्म हो रहा है कोई point, तो second is related to that, the third is related to the second one, and the fourth is related to the third one. So they all have to be in a flow. That is what we call a coherent paragraph. So let's arrange these 4 points in such a manner. But before we start, let's revise some rules that we have discussed in the previous video. So these rules will be really helpful in most of the questions. So normally, any general thing would always come before a specific thing. So for example, if you're talking about any particular thing, a general thing, for example, let's say apple is, a fruit or something like that. It's a general thing, you're talking about it. And later on, we will tell, okay, in some particular situation or, some detailed characteristics of it. So that thing will come later on. Normally, the passage will, or the paragraph that you have to make will begin with a general statement. We go from general towards specific, right? For example, we have discussed example in previous video as well. Like we talked about vehicles first. And then later on, we talked about a specific type of vehicle, like electrical vehicles. So this is how we normally move most of the time. Now, another rule that we discussed was that, a problem would be discussed before we discuss its solution. Because solution will be according to the problem. जब problem पता होगी उसके according ही तो solution होगा. पहले solution बता दोगे, उसके बाद problem बताओगे नहीं. So remember this. This is, most of the passages you will find this is what is happening. कि पहले root cause बताएंगे and then, we'll tell the remedy for it. Then another rule that we discussed was that we mentioned that a thing exists and then we talk about details of it. कि पहले कोई चीज एग्जिस्ट करती है तभी उसके बाद में डिटेल्स बताओगे ना कि पहले ही बता दोगे कि वो क्या क्या होती है एंड देन you tell that okay this thing also exists. For example, we discussed about electric vehicles. So you will tell that okay there is a particular thing called electric vehicles which can be used as a substitute for normal vehicles. और फिर उसके बाद में डिटेल्स बताओगे कि अच्छा उसकी ये एप्लीकेशंस होती है, उसके ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं और डिटेल में जाओगे डिफरेंट टाइप्स ही होते हैं. तो पहले you just mention it. So any point which is telling you about the existence of that particular thing, that point will come before the point that is telling us about the characteristics of that thing. So remember this. And another thing that you should take care of is the pronouns. See, why do we use pronouns? We use pronouns to refer to some nouns, he, she, or it. Why do we use it? Because we don't want to repeat the name of the person again and again. So remember this, कि कोई सेंटेंस में अगर पर्टिकुलर नाउन दिया हुआ है और उसके बाद हम उसके प्रोनाउंस को यूज कर रहे हैं तो प्रोनाउंस वाला सेंटेंस बाद में आएगा, right? So this can also be a very good trick. And similarly, conjunctions. We use them to join different points. So like conjunctions like, and they will join sentences that have similar meaning. So if you come across this word like and, then look for sentences that have similar meaning because they will be coming together. If you have conjunctions like but, then you have to join sentences that will have opposite meaning. So remember this, that, these conjunctions also really help you. So whether you have to join the sentences which have similar meaning or you have to join the sentences which are having contradictory meaning. So let's begin this particular passage where we have to, these sentences where we have to arrange them in a particular paragraph. So let's start. First of all, we'll just briefly write, what this sentence is telling us and then we'll arrange them. So let's start. Some company leaders are basing their decisions on locating offices to foster innovation and growth, as the best performing inventors suffered the greatest productivity losses when their commutes grew longer. So this particular sentence is telling us about that, some company leaders are taking some decision. They have to change the location of their offices. Why? Because if the employee has to travel more, then there is a productivity loss. So the sentence is telling us about some decision by company leaders. क्योंकि distance agar long hota hai, then it leads to less productivity. So this sentence is telling us about that. Second, shorter commutes support innovation by giving employees more time in the office and greater opportunities for in-person collaboration while removing the physical strain of a long commute. So second sentence mein kya bata raha hai? Benefit, positive thing of a short distance travel. So in case your office is near to your house, so wo jo short distance ka benefit hota hai, this benefit is that it really gives you more innovation and more opportunities for interaction. But at the same time, it is also telling us about the negative aspect of long distance travel. So long commute ka negative aspect or short ka positive, right? Then the third one, this is not always the case. Now, this is a very good hint. This is not always the case. इसका मतलब ये starting में हो ही नहीं सकता. इससे पहले कोई और बात की होगी. उसको रेफर कर रहे हैं. This is a pronoun. It is referring to a particular thing that you've already talked before. This is not always the case. So मतलब ये sentence शुरू में तो नहीं आएगा. इससे पहले कोई और बात होगी और ये वाला sentence उस बात को opposite कुछ बारे में बताएगा, कुछ contradict करेगा. So this is not always the case. Remote work does not automatically lead to greater creativity and productivity, as office water cooler conversations are also very important for innovation. So this is telling us about that, why it is good to be in the office. If you're working from the office, it is good. If you're working, in isolation or remote work is not good. So it is telling us about the benefit of working in the office and the negative aspect of working from home or, working from a remote location. So the last sentence, some see the link between long commutes and productivity as support for work from home scenarios, as many workers have grown accustomed to their commute-free arrangements during the pandemic. Now, this sentence is supporting work from home. Support for work from home, that people, they have got habituated to working from home because of pandemic. So it is somehow telling us about the positive aspect of working from home. So now we have the 4 sentences in front of us. We have to arrange them. Now, the easiest one would be, third and fourth, because this is not always the case, is telling us that we have to talk about something which is opposite to the thing which is being talked about in this sentence. तो इस सेंटेंस में जो बात कही है इस पर्टिकुलर सेंटेंस से पहले वो वाला सेंटेंस आएगा जिसमें इससे ऑपोजिट बात कही होगी, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाई वी आर सेइंग दिस इज नॉट ऑलवेज द केस. लाइक व्हेन डू वी यूज इट? To show opposite thing. For example, if I have to say Riya is a very health conscious girl, she always eats healthy food, but then if you want to counter it, what we will say, no, that's not the case, this is not the case always, she does consume junk food also. तो कुछ opposite बताओगे ना. तो ऐसे यहाँ पे देखो, ये वाला sentence बता रहा है कि work from home अच्छा नहीं है, ठीक है, remote location, remote work or working in isolation is not good. And fourth sentence is telling us about the positive aspect of working from home. It is supporting work from home. And third point is criticizing work from home. तो और ये दोनों sentences work from home से related नहीं है. First or second, they are talking about short distance or long distance. They are talking about, how shorter distances are better, long distances affect your productivity. And third and fourth are talking about working from home. Third is criticizing the work from home concept, whereas the fourth sentence is supporting the work from home. Or third ke aage hai, this is not always the case. So that means you have to join these two. So this is for sure that the fourth sentence will come before third. So this is definitely a pair. So fourth is telling about the positive aspect, and then third is saying this is not always the case and talking about the negative aspect of the same thing. So fourth and third will come together like this. So we have a pair here. Now, if we see it clearly, the first and the second sentences, see, the first is telling us about, in general, what is the benefit of short distance? In general, that shorter distances, shorter commutes support innovation. एक general aspect बता रहा है और मतलब mention कर रहा है या general aspect बता रहा है. और फिर जो first वाला है, that some company leaders, they are taking this decision कि अपने office को location different कर रहे हैं so that, the employees have to travel less. ताकि उनकी प्रोडक्टिविटी लॉसेस कम हो. तो वी कैन अप्लाई दैट रूल दैट जनरल थिंग शुड कम बिफोर अ स्पेसिफिक थिंग, बिकॉज ये जनरली बता रहे हैं शॉर्ट डिस्टेंसेस में ये फायदा होता है. और फिर इसी की एप्लीकेशन विच इज एप्लीकेशन इन अ पर्टिकुलर कॉन्टेक्स्ट बाय सम पीपल, तो वो ये है, पहले आप फैक्ट बताओगे और फिर आप उसकी एप्लीकेशन बताओगे ना, कि for example, when you know that okay, education is very important for everybody, and and then you will tell that okay, that is why government has come up with new education policy. अब पहले application बता दोगे कि new education policy, it will ensure that people get children get overall development, etc. And then you will tell education is important. That's not the case. First we talk about general thing, फिर उसकी application किसी specific context में हम बात करते हैं. अब जो decision यहाँ पर कंपनी के लीडर्स कुछ decision ले रहे हैं, अब वो decision से पहले कोई fact होता है ना, decision से पहले कोई statistics होते हैं ना, कोई एविडेंस होता है, तो ये जनरल एस्पेक्ट है और फिर उसके बाद एक स्पेसिफिक कॉन्टेक्स्ट में उसको यूज किया है. सो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट विल कम बिफोर द फर्स्ट वन. सेकंड फायदा बता रही है कि शॉर्टर डिस्टेंस का ये फायदा होता है, लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस का नुकसान होता है, फिर फर्स्ट उसी के बेस पे एक डिसीजन ले रहा है. जो फर्स्ट सेंटेंस में डिसीजन लिया गया है वो सेकंड सेंटेंस की इंफॉर्मेशन पे लिया गया है. सो सेकंड विल कम बिफोर एंड फर्स्ट विल कम लेटर ऑन. सो अगेन वी हैव दिस पेयर ऑफ सेकंड कमिंग बिफोर द फर्स्ट वन. नाउ वी हैव टू सी इन पेयर में से कौन सा पहले आएगा. सो whether this pair will come before or the second or the first pair will come before. So one more thing, I just talked about pronouns. कि pronoun किसी को refer कर रहे होते हैं, उससे पहले आपको वो noun use करना पड़ेगा, है ना. We just talked about this. So just see it here. This sentence. Some see the link. यहाँ पर some किसके लिए है? This some see. Who sees this? Who is seeing the link? Some person must be seeing. Some see the link. ये कंपनी लीडर्स के लिए यूज हुआ है कि some company leaders are taking a decision to locate their offices, some are doing this. ये कंटिन्यू कर रहा है एकदम एक ही पॉइंट को. देखो कि some leaders are talking about this, some are talking about this. ये some जो है वो इस कंपनी लीडर्स को रेफर कर रहा है, राइट. सो मतलब पहले हमें बताना पड़ेगा कि कंपनी लीडर्स हैं और फिर हम उसके लिए वो प्रोनाउन यूज कर पाएंगे, right. Pronoun can be used only after you have mentioned a noun. So that is why this some will come after we have already talked about these company leaders. वरना हमें कैसे पता चलेगा हम किस some के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो that means कि first पहले आना चाहिए और उसी के बाद fourth आना चाहिए, क्योंकि fourth में जो pronoun use है वो उस noun का है जो first में use कर रहे हैं. तो पहले में बताना पड़ेगा कि वो क्या चीज है, उसके बाद ही तो हम उसको रेफर कर पाएंगे. So that means ये second और first वाला pair पहले आएगा और फिर उसके बाद fourth और third वाला आएगा. So your pattern would be second, first, fourth and third. This will be how the statement would have to be arranged to get a coherent meaning. और एक बार आप चेक भी कर सकते हैं, वेरीफाई भी कर सकते हैं कि मीनिंग कोहेरेंट है या नहीं. ये ऑर्डर है ना, तो इसी में अरेंज करके देखते हैं कि हमारा मीनिंग कोहेरेंट हो रहा है या नहीं. सो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट बेनिफिट्स ऑफ शॉर्टर डिस्टेंसेस एंड नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट ऑफ लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस, राइट. अब जब हम कहते हैं कोहेरेंट, इसका मतलब ये वाला मीनिंग ही दूसरे सेंटेंस में भी कंटिन्यू होना चाहिए. तो अब हम नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस हमने सेलेक्ट किया है फर्स्ट. तो फर्स्ट में हम यही बात कर रहे हैं कि द लॉन्ग डिस्टेंसेस आर नॉट गुड, दीज लीड्स टू प्रोडक्टिविटी लॉसेस. तो डिसीजन किस बेसिस पे लिया है कि लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस जो है उससे प्रोडक्टिविटी लॉस होता है, प्रोडक्टिविटी में डिक्लाइन आता है, ठीक है. सो दिस लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस is connected to this long distance, है ना. उसी को हमने कंटिन्यू किया, पहले सिर्फ उसका नुकसान बताया, फिर उस पर डिसीजन भी ले लिया कि क्योंकि वो प्रोडक्टिविटी को अफेक्ट करता है. फिर नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस हमने लिया है फोर्थ. तो फोर्थ में फिर अगेन कि लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस लॉन्ग कम्यूट्स और प्रोडक्टिविटी की वजह से दे आर सपोर्टिंग वर्क फ्रॉम होम. सो लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस और प्रोडक्टिविटी की वजह से सम पीपल आर सपोर्टिंग वर्क फ्रॉम होम. तो देखो ये प्रोडक्टिविटी वाला पॉइंट और लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस वाला अगेन हमने यहाँ पे कंटिन्यू किया. तो जहां पर पहले वाला सेंटेंस एंड हो रहा था, नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस वहीं से शुरू हो रहा है, उसी पॉइंट से. मतलब यू डोंट हैव टू टॉक अबाउट द वर्ड, यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट द कंसेप्ट कि वो सेम ही थॉट प्रोसेस फॉलो हो रहा है, ठीक है. अब ये वाला वर्क फ्रॉम होम से एंड हुआ, तो हमने लास्ट सेंटेंस जो लिखा है कि वर्क फ्रॉम होम इज नॉट गुड, उसके भी नुकसान होता है, इट अफेक्ट्स योर क्रिएटिविटी. तो वर्क फ्रॉम होम का नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट दिखा दिया. तो ये वाला जो पॉइंट था वर्क फ्रॉम होम का वो इधर भी कंटिन्यू हो गया. तो देख रहे हो कि जो सेंटेंस पहला एंड हो रहा है, सेकेंड सेंटेंस उसी आइडिया को पिक कर रहा है. सो जहां पे सेकेंड जिस बात पे खत्म हुआ, फर्स्ट उसी आइडिया से लिंक्ड होकर कोई नई बात बता रहा है. फिर फर्स्ट जहां पे खत्म हुआ, फोर्थ भी उसी आइडिया को लेके कोई नई बात बता रहा है, और फिर थर्ड भी उसी आइडिया को कंटिन्यू कर रहा है. सो दिस इज a coherent paragraph. Everything, every point is related to the other one. So first is related to the second, second is related to the third, and third is related to the fourth. So it's a coherent meaning. So it's a flow. There has to be a flow. So I think we have understood this passage well, and we can revise the rules again, because these rules will again be very helpful. Let's remember, we will talk about a general thing first, and then specific thing, problem before, then solution. And we mention about a thing before, and then we talk about its details or its applications, and remember the pronouns and the conjunctions. These will be really helpful. But at the same time, we can try another question, and in the meanwhile, you can check this one, and please let us know the answer in the comments. Thank you.